What's up, everybody? So something I wanted to talk about with you guys that's become a more relevant post has been bankruptcies. So we all know that bankruptcies are going to be the hardest item to dispute, and how do you get those off? So let me talk about the way that I'm doing things and the way that you can get your bankruptcies removed and the way that you can um, help your clients out with these settings. So give me just a second. I'm going to open Facebook here so I can see any comments on this system. So let's get in here. Okay. So here's the thing. Bankruptcies, when they're done, say Seattle, Washington. So I live in Seattle. I've gone and done a bankruptcy. I hired a lawyer and I've written off all of the items, whether it be a chapter 7, 11, or 13. So those are going to be your main forms of bankruptcy. So with those items, I've gone into see a trustee. We've done all the paperwork and decided which accounts we're going to um, dispute or write off with that system. Now, the trustee is going to approve everything. They'll send the letters to all your creditors, which will automatically stop all of the phone calls and all the problems that you're going to get that come with all those creditors that you're basically writing off, right? So, with that being said, once that bankruptcy goes through, you're going to have a mark on your credit that's going to last for 10 years. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. It's on there for 10 years. Now let's take another scenario. I have spoken with a lawyer. I've gone in and I've discussed everything I want to do with the bankruptcy. We've agreed to terms. I've paid them a little bit of money and they're going to file for it. Now, what that filing does is it hits my credit report within 30 days that I am filing for a bankruptcy, but I have not completed it. Now, I've run into several of these customers that have had 2, 3, 4 bankruptcies on their credit report. 3 of the 4 have not discharged. They were just filed. One of them was discharged and actually went through. So when you think about that, the bankruptcy is the most hurtful item that's going to be on your credit report. And so it's Thursday, it's almost Friday, so cheers. Even if you file but don't go through with it, it's still on your credit report as a bankruptcy, which will stay on your credit report for up to 10 years. So here's the method on how to get rid of a bankruptcy. And I'm not going to make this a super long video. Number one, we've got our client. Our client is interested in credit repair. They're interested because they have a bankruptcy and several accounts that are associated with that bankruptcy. Okay. So we're going to do our review with that client. We're going to go in and see the circumstances that came up. All right. So you've got 18, 19, 20 different accounts that are included in that bankruptcy. So now we're going to go in and freeze LexisNexis. LexisNexis is going to be your major reporter. If none of you have frozen your own LexisNexis report, I highly suggest you call LexisNexis, freeze your own report, and request the report in writing. Now, when I received mine, it came in 2 boxes. They were about, actually, this is the same size. They were this size. There was 500 pages in each box. Now, what LexisNexis has for you is everything from the date you were born when it starts with your credit history. So that includes every phone number, every cell phone, every home phone, every address you've ever lived at, really everything about you. Now, with that report, what you're able to do is go through that report and see if there's any items that you would like to dispute that are inaccurate. You can think of LexisNexis as the credit bureau. So with that being said, any item that's not correct on LexisNexis or that you don't want to have on any report, you're able to directly dispute with LexisNexis. So you do the same thing as if you were disputing with the bureaus. LexisNexis, file number 12345, Bank of America. This account is not mine, or you have the wrong credit file. Provide method of verification or delete. Now, LexisNexis actually spends the time to look at these items, and they won't spend the time to verify them. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to get the item deleted off of LexisNexis. Now, there's a second part to this, your personal identifiers. So that's going to be your name, address, social security number, date of birth, phone number, and any previous addresses. So the number one way to get a bankruptcy dispute started is to dispute with not only LexisNexis, but to dispute with the bureaus. So you want to print out a snippet of only the personal identification information based off of your identity IQ or whomever you're pulling credit from. That credit report information is going to show all the different changes in your name, all the different addresses that you've lived at, and you want to make sure that your birth date is 100% the same on there as well. Now, when you're disputing with the bureaus on your personal identifiers, you're going to include 4 pieces of identification. So the reason why you're going to do 4 pieces is because this is a very sensitive information. So I want to go after the driver's license, the social security card, and 2 proofs of identity. So whether that's 2 different bills or whatever it may be. I'll call the daughter back later. With that being said, now I'm going to go after only one item, and that's that personal identifier. So I've never lived at this address. This is my sister's address. I don't know why you're listing it here. I've never lived there. Delete this. This is not how I spell my name. It doesn't matter if it's a maiden name, a change in the name, 1 letter's off, it has to be deleted. Now, if you're going to only send this one item, then the chances of getting that one item deleted and updated is almost 90%. Then it goes for any account that you're going to dispute with the credit bureaus. If you just send that one snippet, that one account, that one letter, the chances of getting that removed and deleted is pretty strong. It's over 90%. So with that being said, I've now disputed my personal identifiers. I want to update my correct name, address, social security number, birth date, and all the information that's on that PBI. Once all that information is now erased and corrected, now I'm going to go on simultaneously with LexisNexis. And I'm going to say to LexisNexis that I'm disputing this bankruptcy because this is not me. I've never had a bankruptcy. How did you verify this information? Now, LexisNexis may come back and say that the item was verified. Now, with that being said, now you're going to have to take this one step further. So with that being said, you're going to reach out to the bankruptcy city and state that the bankruptcy occurred. You're going to create a letter and include a self-addressed stamped envelope, and it's going to say, who do you report my bankruptcy to as a third-party person? Now, that bankruptcy court is going to include a letter, and I'll include a copy in the comments here. Now, that bankruptcy court's going to include that letter, and it's going to say that we don't share any information to any third-party company whatsoever. So let me grab this. California. All right. So California BK template. Now, what I'm going to do with this letter after I receive it back, and LexisNexis has said, hey, we've verified it. Great. Now you're going to take this letter and you're going to send it back to LexisNexis. LexisNexis is going to automatically delete it from your file. So now I've disputed it with LexisNexis. They've removed it from that file. Now I'm going to go back to the 3 credit bureaus and I'm going to say, this is not my bankruptcy. Please provide method of verification. Now the credit bureaus are going to go to LexisNexis and they're going to try to pull that information from you. Here's the news flash. It doesn't exist anymore. So they're going to go ahead and delete that bankruptcy for you. That's number one, the easiest way. Yes, it's a long process, but you want to make sure that you follow those steps. So number one, pull your credit report. Number two, go after your personal identifiers with the credit bureaus. Number three, dispute with LexisNexis. If they come back verified, send a letter to the court of the bankruptcy and ask, who do you share this information with? Once you receive that letter back, or your client does, they're going to send it to you. You're going to send that letter to LexisNexis. So 5 steps so far. LexisNexis is now going to delete that bankruptcy from your report. Number 6, I'm going to write the credit bureaus about 2 weeks later and say, I don't know what you're talking about. Provide method of verification. I've also searched out to LexisNexis, and they don't have record of it either. Number 7, that item's deleted. So it is quite the process. Use those. Use me. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I would love to help you get these bankruptcies off. You'll see 80, 90, 100-point increases when you get them removed. And like I said, if you have any questions, let's go. Let's make some money. So any ideas on the next video, let me know. Otherwise, happy Thursday. Cheers. We'll talk to you soon. And yes, this is a Little Mermaid cup. Thank you very much. Talk to you.